You are running out of time. You finally went back to school, but the amount of time you spent getting your MBA and then getting your doctorate degree for some of you has put you so far behind in the direction you really have been wanting to go. Becoming an entrepreneur, starting your own business. Now, you went to school for a reason, to become a subject matter expert. And although you learned a few things, they did not teach you how to launch and run your business. Now, I can also tell you from experience, for some of you, your area of study was not focused enough. They tell you that you need to be well-rounded and you need in order to make lots of money. But for some people, yeah, that may have been true. But for a lot of us, they lied to you. They lied to me. But the truth is, the folks that make the most money are the ones that have a specific area of focus, specialist. So getting an MBA, although it was a worthy accomplishment, it's not always enough. Hello, everyone. Welcome to day 3. My name is Masudi, and today we're going to take you a closer look at defining your niche. And yes, I'm still testing out Ecamm. Show you that logo that sits there on top of my, is that right shoulder? This is my left shoulder. Anyway, so if you used Ecamm, if you have any comments, thoughts about it, feel free to reach out to me directly. One thing that helps me to learn, though, is by example, specific examples. And since we're doing a live, again, you have to just take notes. There's no worksheet or workbook to download. But I really do want to help you. And I know Google is out there, but I still want to help you by giving you the important stuff right here on this live, all in one particular place. We're going to go over specific niche possibilities, right? So different options when it comes to your niche. So they may help you to determine a more streamlined area of focus, your niche. And based on what you hear today, you may decide that you need to implement a reposition strategy that's going to be more streamlined for your niche so that you can begin building your career, building your business in the specific direction that you actually want. But first, allow me to do a recap of yesterday. Yesterday was day 2. We talked about practical strategies to finding your niche that led you through a specific step-by-step process to better evaluate yourself and to better determine what needs to have been done. A step-by-step process to walk you through what's been done in order to help you learn more about your niche, help you learn more about the possibility of what could be your niche. So if you have not checked it out from yesterday's video, I encourage you to do so. And after you do that, check out day 1 as well. Okay. And as I help you find your niche, or fine tune your niche, I want you to think about something for a moment. Here's a strategy. So it's coming up. So I want you to catch this. What specific problem are you solving? So you got your MBA, you got your degree, and you want to be an entrepreneur and a business owner. So what specific problem do you want to solve? Right? And who are you solving it for? Who is this particular person, like a demographic? And we'll get into those details in a little bit. But I just want to point that out to you as a question you want to ask yourself. Who are you solving this particular problem for? And number 3, what is the result for them after their problem has been resolved? What result are you bringing them? And I'll say it again. What specific problem are you solving? Who are you solving it for? And what is the result for them after that problem has been solved? So there are a few ways to look at your niche. Okay. Now, if you remember, this also can help you implement a reposition strategy so that it will allow you to change the direction and the perception of your current state, whether that's your business and yourself or a combination of both. When it comes to your niche, the most common ways that you can look at it is from an industry perspective or a demographic perspective. So an industry is something like maybe automotive, education, agricultural, medical industry is obviously an industry, self-education industry. That's a whole industry in itself. A demographic, right? It could be compiled of age, race, gender. If somebody's single or married, they have a certain income status, if that matters, an employment status. These are the core demographic areas. And this we definitely should have learned in school. But this is how you can choose to determine who you want to serve, right? And as you get ready to determine your client or the person you choose to serve, you'll want to be able to determine how each of these components correlate to your ideal client, the person you choose to serve. Okay? So another way to look at choosing your niche is style. Style could be another way to differentiate yourself from others. An example could be, do you have a more aggressive approach? Or do you have more of a hand-holding approach? Are you going to challenge them if you're a business coach? Or you're just going to set schedules and then kind of play a more hands-off approach? It really just depends on what you choose to do. But you could choose to make it known that this is how you help people, this is how you serve people, and that in itself is a niche. Now, a content niche is another way. It's not always as common, but like, for example, for me, helping folks find their niche, right? And creating a reposition strategy. That is an example of a content niche. And so that is another way to kind of look at a potential niche for you. So now here are examples that I promised. So I think they're going to be beneficial to you. And as you try to streamline. Now, the importance of streamlining your niche is because it's going to put you in a position to be not just a subject matter expert, but yes, a subject matter expert that can charge a premium, right? Because you'll be able to work in the same area, the same focus over and over again. You'll start to learn the questions that are asked, what are the common problems that people tend to have, and that's going to be the benefit to you and the people that you're serving, right? So we talked about examples like in the medical practice, right? You have a general practitioner, but then you also have specialists. So if you're going to get brain surgery, heaven forbid, you're not necessarily going to go to a general practitioner in order to get brain surgery. You're going to go to a brain surgeon. That means because they do brain surgeons over and over and over again, right? So in your case, as you choose your niche, the thing that you want to do is start focusing and studying and implementing your niche over and over and over again. Do the homework, do the research, and just start talking about it, right? I think one of the examples that one of my coaches talks about is just if you want to be seen in a certain area, you got to start talking about it, right? Get yourself on some podcasts, do your own podcast, start talking about the subject matter over and over and over again. Start answering questions. And so maybe that's what I'll do tomorrow, answer a bunch of questions. We'll see. So right now, when it comes to coaching, like popular niches are like, say, life coaching. It's extremely popular. Health coaching, finance coaching, right? And you are starting to see the high performance coach as a particular niche in itself. Travel coaching is a whole thing. Personal development, image consulting or coaching is a thing, right? Probably made most popular recently by Kevin Samuels. Acting, actors have acting coaches that we kind of know, right? So if actors have acting coaches, it's not unlikely to think that these other disciplines, these other industries are going to have coaches in themselves as well. So, and all of these are great niches, a great area of focus. Mindset is another one in particular, right? We talked about mindset on Monday, but you could choose to be a mindset coach and maybe go a little bit deeper, and if you haven't checked that out, I encourage you to check that one out. When you're in school, how many times were you dealing with the mental challenges as you're trying to finish your degree or get a paper written and so forth, right? Dealing with pressure. These are specific things that that could be a way to even fine tune or have a even more focused niche when it comes to mindset, right? Maybe you want to deal with you deal with pressure specifically. Maybe it's not just trauma, but specific. It could be area of focus, could be trauma, could be one. It could be pressure, could be another one. It could be academic pressure, could be a third one. It could be business structure. These are kind of the ideas I'm giving you when it comes to streamlining your area of niche so that whatever you're currently doing, when you reposition yourself, you're repositioning yourself correctly so that you are in the area of focus that's going to be most beneficial to you, but then most beneficial for the people you're going to serve, right? Again, how many times were you dealing with mental challenges and stuff when you're trying to finish your degree and get those papers written so you can graduate, right? And since you have your MBA, let me give you a few examples when it comes to business coaching, okay? So you can do marketing, right? But I would encourage you to break down a little bit further, So yeah, to say you're a business coach is maybe high level, very, very broad. And then say you're a marketing coach, and probably at one point in time that was probably considered broad, but there's very different aspects of marketing. There's digital marketing, right? And even under that, there's probably different areas of digital marketing, right? Under digital marketing, you have social media as a whole thing by itself. SEO is a whole thing by itself. You can be a coach that does strictly on SEO, right? You can be a graphic design coach. where you teach people how to do graphic design. I know you probably had teachers and so forth that maybe if any of you graphic designers or web designers who do that stuff, if you were self-taught like me, that imagine having a graphic design coach when you're trying to figure some stuff out. Some of you may not know that I started off in graphic design. I was a graphic designer, and then I went to web design. And then just through that, kind of helping people kind of formulate their marketing strategy is kind of how I evolved into a strategist. But imagine having a coach specifically in graphic design. So someone who's further down the road than you can help you kind of handle certain things, and then also help you understand maybe the business of graphic design. That could be another component as well. So that's another option for you. Leadership coaching or executive coaching, right? Executive coaching for leaders that could take you down a little bit further. You can be a leadership coach as one out. You can be executive coaching. That's also very popular, but you can probably even stream that niche a little bit further, right? You could choose to focus on a particular industry, right? We talked about that. You could choose to focus on a certain demographic or both. You can choose to be an executive coach for leaders of Fortune 500 companies, or you can say you're an executive coach for leaders for Fortune 100 companies. You may try to go to the total opposite end. You can be an executive coach for leaders of companies between the size of 10 to 20 people. What would be the benefit of that? Well, a lot of times when you are an executive coach or you're leading or running a company or a CEO of a big company, it's sometimes not the plans that you implement sometimes take longer to actually see the fruition from them. So you may decide that, you want to focus with people who are a little bit smaller so that the plans that you implement yourself, you can kind of see those take place a little bit quicker, right? And that might be the benefit for you. So there's someone out there actually I know that or came across that actually does coaches strictly for former McKinsey employees. McKinsey's a consulting firm, a major consulting firm. That's what they choose to do. So I hope these ideas are helping you to kind of generate some ideas in your head. You don't have to think of the broad stuff. The broad stuff is good to get you started, but then you want to try to streamline as much as possible, right? So I'll give you a few more. So Facebook ads. Imagine having a coach for Facebook ads. I know I've tried to run Facebook ads, and I've ran a few and so forth, but it took me a while to kind of piece some of the stuff together. So someone who kind of knows what they're doing, And I'm saying a Facebook ad coach, meaning they're going to show you how to do it yourself versus hiring somebody to do the Facebook ads for you. So that's the difference. And not to say that you can't just be the person that does it for them, but as a coach, right, in the area of business, that might be something you can focus on. Imagine being able to charge a premium for that. Let's see. Pinterest, right? You can be a coach on Pinterest. And I ran into somebody who also is considered an SME in Pinterest, right? That's how they use to generate leads and clients. And so that's a whole particular type of market than Facebook and Instagram and some of these other social media avenues. But coaching on Pinterest or just using Pinterest ads to improve your business, that could be a particular coach, right? You can say I'm a coach on Pinterest. That's in general how to use it, how to be effective, right? Or you can be a coach, say, that does Pinterest ads specifically. The main thing we're talking about is the result. We talked about that earlier, right? What is the result that you are trying to accomplish, right? What is the specific result that you're trying to solve for that particular person? So let me see a few more for you. So there are people who like to teach about maybe podcasting could be an example, right? Teach people how to incorporate podcasting into their business, maybe how to do just podcasting in general, or maybe they have a completely different business, but podcasting is just a component of it to use that to get more clients and get more results, or just expand the word or expand their name a little bit, get their name a little bit out there a little bit more. That could be an option for you, right? So I hope these niches are helpful to you. You really want to try to stream down as much as possible. That's the key. See, a good rule of thumb, and this comes from David C. Baker. He talks ideally you want to stream down strong enough so that your ideal competition ranks between 10 to 200. That's right, 10 to 200 people as far as who your competition, the people who are doing what it is that you do, right? And then you also want to position yourself so that maybe your clients are around 20,000 options, 20,000 potential clients that you have. That's not an exact number. It's just to kind of guide, to kind of have an area of focus. So, and then you can use that to determine if you are actually feel like you're streamlined enough, So if you're going to be able to solidify your niche, if you're able to solidify your niche, then you are in a better position to reposition yourself as a specialist, right? So the question I want to ask you is, why are you not moving forward, right? Why are you not moving forward with this? Are you scared of judgment? Brendan talks about being scared of playing small, right? And we got to get past that. What are you going to do if you don't move forward, right? If you continue to stay in the place that you're currently on, right? If you're currently choosing to stay where you are in the area of not starting your business, then if you think about yourself 5 years from now, what's that going to look like? Here we discuss business and entrepreneurship, and more importantly, choosing a niche to better reposition yourself. And it's okay to be afraid of judgment, but you have to deal with it. The only way to deal with it, though, is to do it, unfortunately, right? Even actors are afraid of judgment. Ray Liotta talked about not wanting to play the role of Frank Sinatra. Wait, hold up. You know who Ray Liotta is? One of his most iconic roles is from the movie Goodfellas, where he played Henry Hill. Bobby De Niro and Joe Pesci are also in it. Robert De Niro, I called him Bobby just because they say his friends call him Bobby. I was just trying to be cool. But yeah, the movie Goodfellas, he played Henry Hill in the movie The Goodfellas. And so Ray Liotta mentioned that he, in an interview, that he kept turning down the role of Frank Sinatra repeatedly in the movie The Rat Pack. Why did he turn it down? He admitted to saying because he was afraid of what people were going to say. Now, everyone who is human is concerned about being judged, even actors, right? Keep that in mind. This is even after the movie Goodfellas. Goodfellas is a very popular movie, considered arguably one of the best mafia movies around. Now, I'm not saying it's better than Godfather. People have their opinion, but usually Goodfellas, Godfather 1, Godfather 2 are usually in the top 3, right? And so, but check this out. From where we as fans stand, right? When we're looking at someone like Ray Liotta, who's done Goodfellas and he's done a bunch of other movies too. Looking at someone like that, we may think, why would he be nervous? Right? Why would he be scared of being judged? He's a great actor, but he's human, right? He also had to overcome his concerns, his fear of judgment, right? So he did the movie. And from what I understand, the folks loved it. So as I wrap up today, I want to encourage you to focus on finding your niche. Ask yourself, what specific problem are you solving? Who are you solving it for? Right? And what is the result for them after the problem is solved? Right? So often entrepreneurs, business coaches are too broad. I had the same issue. It's better to narrow down your area of focus so that you can begin to get desired traction for your new business. Because when people are looking for help, when they're Googling for an answer, they're looking for a specific answer regarding a specific subject. And if you happen to be that subject matter expert, then you might get the business. Now, it doesn't mean you can't do other things, right? But you want to have one area of focus that's pointed out that says, hey, this is what I do. And as a result, right, you begin to work on a specific area more often, over and over, which allows you to increase your knowledge and learn, as I said earlier, what questions are being asked over and over and over again, right? You ever seen like a college professor teach all semester and never, ever, ever open a textbook, but they have you opening the textbook because they've done it so much, right? Right? So when you are positioned yourself as a specialist, you have positioned yourself to be able to charge a premium for your skill sets, right? Les Brown says it's not about the hour. It's about the value you bring to that hour. You know, we had a plumber come by the house to fix our leaky faucet a while back. The leaky faucet was in our tub, and has been leaking for like a week, right? Just drip, 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 drip. Do you know when he finally showed up on the day, took him 15 minutes to fix it? That includes the time it took to go get the part out of the truck, right? How much you think that bill was though? $200, right? So it's not about the 15 minutes or the hour you bring, right? It's about the value you bring to that hour. So that's all I have for you today. Before you go, one challenge for you. Share with me one thing you learned. Maybe I can come back, do some more tomorrow. Maybe I'll do a challenge in the future. But for now, you can leave a comment. You can send me a DM or an email. And remember to reposition yourself so you can keep pushing forward so you can drive your influence. You have a good night and have a good morning.